The season has ended. The war is over. The Hiscox Cup has been awarded, and the champion transcends the physical world in a supernova, joining the great patron saint Brian Hiscox. He leaves behind his family, friends, and most importantly, his fantasy team.
Farm included.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
I thought it would be funnier if I came in and said it. The champion rejoins our world, naked and alone. Other teams can protect 15 players each. All others will be exposed, forced to traverse a dangerous path in search of safety and the hopes that they will one day return home. From this offering, and the free agency, the reincarnated champion will select 20 roster players.
Those claimed by the reincarnation will be replaced with players from the champion's transcended roster.
Any unselected players from the champion's roster, wandering with no home, will re-enter free agency to be drafted in the free agent draft.
Managers will be given the option to opt out of this spiritual experience. In this case, they keep their players and get none of the feast.
Good morning, Hiscox Cup.
Can I sit down first?
Fuck you.
We match a little bit.
I like it. It's very... What if I got like the... Good morning, valued Hiscox Cup managers.
We are your unelected overlords.
Hear the video, because that's what you voted for.
Mm-hmm. We are a democracy, after all.
We have a pitch.
For how to make this league more fun for everyone. Including you, Chris.
Chris, right
We
there.
hate you, but we need you.
So, essentially, my team is going to kind of go off into limbo. Okay, so I'm going to forfeit the rights to all of my players. At which point, you are going to protect 15 of your most valuable players.
Yeah, or at least do whatever you want. It's your team.
It is your team.
You get to pick 15 that you protect. You keep. They're protected from this expansion. And then Matt is going to pick a new team from the scraps you leave behind and the free agency. The idea is this is going to happen soon, so he doesn't get a big advantage from picking from the free agency. It's going to be in the next couple
Dustin
weeks.
Brown.
It's just Dustin Brown.
It's not Dolan.
So Matt's team goes into like a limbo state temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone protects 15 players.
Yep.
Matt picks a new team from the scraps, expansion style, and then everyone that lost players gets to replace them with players from Matt's roster.
From my team in limbo that I forfeited.
Yes, your old team, your championship team.
My old team, the winners.
Yeah,
Okay?
I have the better Kane.
Yes.
You too could have the better Kane.
He will be available. Now, the way that ordering will work is whoever has the most players taken from them will select first. So if I take 5 players from Tyler and only 3 from everyone else or less, Tyler gets to select first and have his pick of Pasternak, Tavares, Carlson, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll,
Work its way down. Any ties will go to the team that finished worst in this season.
Yeah, and there's going to be a few rules for me, so I have to select at least 1 player from every team that participates. So if you expose players, I have to take at least 1, and I can only take a maximum of 5 from you. So Tyler, you're off the hook. All right, I'm not going to take 7. I'm just going to take 5.
Across the board, this is pretty much a benefit to every team, other than maybe Eric. So everyone, it varies who gets, how good of players, but everyone will end up with better players than they lost because you're giving up your bench players and getting a piece of Matt's starting roster.
Right, and people that aren't selected from my team, so the Jared Spurgeons, the Mike Smiths, you might not want them. I don't even get them back. They go to free agency to be selected in the free agency draft.
In the fall, the usual.
In the fall, September
So
or
you
October.
could get them back then.
I could get them back then. We never talked about when I get to pick in that draft.
We didn't.
After the lottery teams. I
That
think
was
is
our
the most
pitch.
fair.
This is completely up for debate, but I think it'd be unfair to make Matt pick last with his new garbage team.
But it would also be unfair for me to get in on the Dolan sweepstakes.
Right, so we'll put him right in the middle. He drafts before other playoff teams, but after all of the lottery teams. And then going forward,
Come on, that's fair. That's fair. And of course, really important, the scrutin clause. Eric, you don't have to do this, and neither does anyone else if you don't want to. So you will have the opportunity to opt out of this whole process. So if you like your team, you don't want to expose players, you don't want a piece of my roster, You just proceed through the summer as normally. You'll have to keep 20 and everything will work the same. You're probably wondering why this is happening. Why you? Why me? Why us?
Okay. Yeah, so we're doing this because it should make the league more fun for everyone. It keeps things more fresh. It will help distribute the better players from his team to the other team so there's more parity. And I think also, if the teams that are trying to win don't actually have to worry about their future, it's going to incentivize a lot of trades that wouldn't happen that are beneficial to the tanking teams.
The tanker.
I should have said the lottery teams, not the tanking teams.
Yeah, absolutely, because we do not condone tanking.
Also,
This is on the record.
now I'm trying to think about it, maybe tanking teams don't get to participate in the lottery. That way they actually are different boxes.
I think starting right now.
Yeah, that's our new pitch, Chris.
Keegan, Mike, your teams are bad. Okay, it's not your fault, but they are. But here's an opportunity to get a Tavares, to get a Carlson, to get a Stamkos, all right? Those are players beyond any of your currents.
It also becomes more of a challenge because it's more fun to build a good team than it is to just have a good team and set the same players every week and that sort of thing.
The other reason that this is a good thing is because it incentivizes teams to go all in.
Yeah. If you don't have to worry about the state of your roster next year because you won, then you don't really need a farm. You don't really need that young guy who's got potential to be a 70, 80 point, but is only at 50, 60. You trade that guy to a rebuilding team for a player that will legitimately get you 70 points this year and may not next year because they're old. It would be kind of fun if every year the best team just ascends. The goal is to win the Hiscox Cup, and they did it. They won. Their team gets immortalized in history. We engrave it on the imaginary Hiscox Cup that we engrave every year. And they begin anew, and they get to start from level 1, which is expansion, and work their way back up.
We don't know for sure whether this is something we will mandate every year for the winning team. We'd like to do that, we think, but that's a summit discussion.
Yes.
Right now, we're just trying to get approval for a trial run for me this summer to do it. And we do think it will help because if we look at someone like Kyle, if Kyle wants to ever win this thing, okay, and he knows his team's going to get dissolved, forget the future, all right? Rantanen, that's a trade. Vasilevsky, that's a trade.
Trade them.
And
for
Kyle's ready to go all in on this shit, okay? He's going to give all his youngest players.
I'll offer it right now, Mike. I will trade you Rantanen for whoever you take first in this.
Right there, JT.
John Tavares, Steven Stamkos.
And Chris, I will trade you whoever I take from everyone in the expansion draft for William Karlsson.
Oh, we didn't talk about the possible strategies.
We kind of talked. Oh, we didn't.
No.
So you have a player, you don't want to lose them. I'm gonna break their damn kneecaps. No, if Mike wants to expose. Okay, Mike doesn't have a single good player. Let's try that again. If Tyler wants to expose Sean Couturier in exchange for me only taking Sean Couturier, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm down for that kind of shit.
You don't really want the Ryan O'Reilly, Jonathan Taves, Matt Dumba collection of players that he has to offer.
They'd help.
We should make it clear. Matt thinks he can win next year.
Booyah! I don't think it's likely. It'll be hard, but I think it's possible.
Now you're talking much more reasonably than you were
Oh
off
my
camera.
god. I'm going to let you guys in on kind of the way I'm thinking through this. So if I take 5 players from Connor and 5 players from Kyle, they're going to be the ones who get the Tavareses, the Stamkoses, the Karlssons. So, being the good guy I am, I'm not touching Kyle and Connor's team. Alright? I don't care what they do.
You do have to take one from us, but
I have to take one. I think that's it.
I have a legitimate idea that we will leave till the summit, but I guess I won't mention it.
He's not going to mention it.
No.
That's your reason to come to the summit.
You get to discuss
Policy. So that'll be good for everyone. And I don't know why I started talking. I don't have anything bad.